Life isn't always smooth sailing, and we all encounter people who don't respect us. They interrupt, throw passive-aggressive comments, or simply disregard your time and feelings. But here's the thing. You don't have to tolerate it. Stoic philosophy teaches us how to handle such situations with calm, maintain our self-respect, and not lose our cool. Respect starts with you, and when you stand firm in who you are, others will begin to reflect on their own actions. Let's dive into how you can handle disrespect without compromising your peace of mind. Let's begin. 1. Embrace the silent stare. All right, let's get into one of my favorite techniques, the silent stare. I know it sounds simple, but trust me, it works like magic. When someone is being openly rude or disrespectful, one of the most powerful things you can do is look at them without saying a word. People who disrespect others are usually looking for a reaction. They want you to get flustered, defensive, or snap back at them. But when you stay completely calm and give them a steady, silent stare, it flips the power dynamic. No words, no expression, just silence. Here's why it works. When you don't give them the reaction they expect, it throws them off. It forces them to confront their behavior without you saying a word. By just holding your gaze, you're making it clear that you're not going to play their game. You're in control of the situation, not them. Let me tell you a story. I was in a meeting once, and this guy kept talking over me, cutting me off like he was trying to dominate the conversation. Instead of raising my voice or trying to compete with him, I just stopped. I leaned back in my chair, crossed my arms, and looked him in the eye. No words, just pure silence. You could feel the tension building. Eventually, he got uncomfortable, stumbled over his words, and stopped interrupting. That silent stare didn't just stop his behavior in the moment. It made him realize that I wasn't someone he could easily bulldoze. By embracing this silence, you show others that you won't let their disrespect affect you. You're not angry or passive. You're calm, confident, and grounded in your own self-respect. This isn't about aggression. It's about reclaiming your space without saying a word. So the next time someone disrespects you, try the silent stare. You might be surprised at how much power it gives you. It's a simple yet profound reminder that you don't need to react to negativity. Instead, let your silence speak volumes about how much you value yourself and your peace. 2. Embrace silence as your answer. Let's talk about one of the most underrated yet powerful tools: silence. When someone disrespects you, the immediate reaction might be to defend yourself or fire back with words. But here's the thing. Sometimes saying nothing at all is the boldest response you can give. It may feel passive, like you're letting them get away with it. But silence isn't about letting someone walk all over you. It's a deliberate choice that says, I'm not giving you my energy. When people disrespect you, they often expect a reaction, a fight, an explanation, or a defense. But when you don't engage, when you just let their words hang in the air, it's a powerful way to take back control. By choosing not to react, you show them that their negativity doesn't affect you. You're not playing into their drama. I remember a situation where someone tried to throw a dig at me, one of those jokes that's really just a thinly veiled insult. Normally, I'd try to defend myself or explain my actions, but this time, I just stayed silent. I raised an eyebrow, let the words sit there, and said nothing. The awkward silence that followed made him uncomfortable. He quickly shifted the conversation, realizing that he wouldn't get the response he was hoping for. The beauty of silence is that it forces the other person to sit with their own behavior. Instead of giving them a response, you let them feel the weight of their own words. It's like you're holding a mirror up to them, and most people aren't comfortable seeing their own disrespectful actions reflected back at them. Silence is not about weakness, it's about strength. When you choose not to engage, you're standing in your own truth. You're saying that your peace and energy are too valuable to be spent on negativity. Silence is your way of saying, I'm not here for this. And that, my friend, is one of the most powerful statements you can make. 3. Stop explaining your choices. Here's a game-changing thought. Stop explaining yourself to others. How many times have you made a decision and someone immediately starts questioning you? Why did you do that? Why didn't you go to that event? Why did you take that job? People seem to think they're entitled to an explanation for every choice you make. And here's the hard truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. It might sound a little controversial, but think about it. When people question your choices, they're rarely looking to understand. They're looking to judge, poke holes, or make you second-guess yourself. They want to challenge your decisions, not because they care, but because your independence might make them uncomfortable. Your decision to do things differently could highlight their own insecurities or make them feel like they're stuck in a place they don't want to be. But here's the key. Just because they're uncomfortable doesn't mean you need to reassure them. Let me tell you about a time I had to learn this the hard way. I once switched careers, moving from a safe, stable job to something I was truly passionate about, but it came with risk. The moment people found out, it was like I'd announced I was leaving the planet. I kept getting asked, "Why would you leave such a stable job?" At first, I tried to explain myself, talk about how I had a plan, how I wanted to find more fulfillment. But no matter what I said, it never felt like enough. People kept questioning, probing, and I ended up feeling worse. Then one day, I tried something different. When someone asked, "Why would you leave that job?" I simply said, "Because I wanted to." No detailed explanation, no defense, just a clear and simple answer. And you know what? It was liberating. The silence that followed was everything. The conversation ended, and from that point on, people stopped questioning me. They realized they weren't going to get the detailed breakdown they were looking for. Here's the beauty of not explaining yourself. It's empowering. You're standing firm in your own truth without needing external validation. You stop wasting energy on justifying your choices and start pouring it into actually living your life. The more you stop explaining, the more you'll start trusting your own decisions. You'll no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others. Your life, your choices, they don't need anyone else's approval to be valid. When you stop explaining yourself, you show the world that you know exactly who you are and what's right for you. And that confidence, it speaks louder than any explanation ever could. 4. Keep your distance. Let's be real for a second. Sometimes the best way to handle people who don't respect you is to keep your distance. I know it might sound harsh, maybe even a little cold, but here's the hard truth. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. If someone is consistently crossing your boundaries, making you feel small, or just radiating negativity, then it's time to give yourself some space. This isn't about being dramatic or cutting them off completely. It's about protecting your energy and valuing yourself enough to put some distance between you and disrespect. Keeping your distance isn't about being mean. It's about choosing where and how you spend your time and energy. Imagine your life as a limited access club. Not everyone gets a VIP pass. And if someone is constantly disrespecting you, why on earth would you continue to keep them close? It's okay to step back. It's not just allowed, it's necessary. Here's why. When you distance yourself from someone toxic, you clear the emotional fog. You start seeing things for what they really are, without the cloud of guilt or emotional manipulation. The more you keep people who don't respect you close, the more you're inviting them to take from you your time, your energy, your peace. When you take a step back, you're saying that your peace is more important than their negativity. Let me share a personal experience. I had a friend who would always make sarcastic comments about every decision I made. My career, my relationships, even my taste in music. At first I thought, that's just how they are. Maybe I'm overreacting. But over time, those little jabs started to wear me down. I realized I was walking on eggshells, always waiting for the next passive-aggressive remark. Eventually, I chose to limit my time with this person. Instead of seeing them every week, I started seeing them once a month. And you know what? I felt lighter, freer, and more at peace. When you step back from people who don't respect you, you make room for the kind of relationships that nourish you. You stop feeling drained and you start feeling empowered. Distance is self-preservation. It's about protecting your energy, protecting your peace, and making room for people who actually add value to your life. And here's the powerful part. You're not selfish for keeping your distance. You're doing what's necessary to live a life that honors your boundaries and respects your worth. 5. Hold your head high. All right, let's talk about something that's as old as time, but still incredibly powerful. Holding your head high. I know it might sound cliche, but when someone disrespects you, they're usually trying to make you feel small. They want to see you shrink, doubt yourself, or lower your gaze. But here's the thing. When you stand tall and hold your head high, you're saying, I know who I am, and nothing you say or do is going to make me feel less. There's something incredibly powerful about confidence. It makes people uncomfortable, especially those who are trying to disrespect you. Why? Because they want to believe they have power over you, that their words can shake you, control you, or make you doubt yourself. But when you hold your head high and remain unshaken, you're sending a message that you won't let them have that power. You're in control. Let me give you an example. I remember dealing with someone who would constantly throw small insults my way. You know the type, smirking, always making jokes that are more like thinly veiled attacks. I used to brush it off, but I noticed it was starting to bother me more and more. One day I decided enough was enough. I stood tall, looked them in the eye, and just held my ground. Every time they tried to take a jab, I simply looked at them, smiled, and moved on. The moment I started holding my head high, they realized their words weren't affecting me, and suddenly their power over me vanished. Here's the deeper truth. Confidence shakes up disrespect. When you carry yourself with pride and strength, people who thrive on disrespect don't know what to do with it. It disrupts their narrative. You stop being a target for their negativity. They can't get to you anymore. When you hold your head high, it's not just about your physical posture, it's about your mental posture. You're reminding yourself and them that you are worthy of respect and you don't need to prove it to anyone. Confidence doesn't require explanation. It doesn't need validation. When you walk through life with your head held high, you're silently declaring that you know your worth. And the more you do this, the less anyone's disrespect will even register with you. You're too busy living your own life, owning your power, and letting them deal with their own insecurities. Life's too short to keep tolerating disrespect. Remember, respect starts with you. When you stand firm in your boundaries and stay true to your values, others will begin to reflect on their actions. Start applying these stoic principles in your life to build a stronger, more confident version of yourself. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic Beacon for more insights and lessons on living with Stoic wisdom. Let's continue this journey together towards becoming the best versions of ourselves.